Okay, pause the video and then do number 9. Turn it back on when you're ready to see the solution. A toy that regularly sells for 9.50 cents is now on sale for 50% off. What is the sale price of the toy? Well, if it's 50% off, it's 50% on, right? 50% on too. So all I have to do is $9.5. I don't need that 0 on there. It's, meaningless. Times 0.50 or 0.5, right? Those zeros on the end don't mean anything. 5 times 5 is? 5. Carry the? 2. 9 times 5? 49. Plus 2? 47. How many spots do I move the decimal over? 2. Does it make sense that if it's half off, 50% off, you would pay $4.75 for this item that originally cost $9.50?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Okay. Last thing here. Interest describes the cost of using someone else's money. If I take your money and use it, you're like, hey, that's my money. I tell you what, I'll pay it back to you, and I'll give you some extra for letting me use it. That's what interest is. Banks pay interest to depositors, people that deposit their money in the bank, who have savings accounts, and then charge interest to people who borrow. So if you put your money in the bank, they give you interest. If you go to buy a car and you borrow money from the bank, you got to pay the bank interest. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like paying to use money, paying extra money. That's what interest is. Interest is usually a percentage of the amount saved or borrowed. Interest can be paid monthly, quarterly, at the end of the year. You know what monthly means? Every month you get your interest, or you have to pay your interest. Quarterly means 4 times per year, right? So you pay it like after 3 months, and then after another 3 months, after another 3 months. Or at the end of the year, that's once a year you pay your interest or get paid your interest. So let's take a look at these two problems here. Sherry deposited $150 in a bank, paying 7% annual interest. That means annual means once a year. Every year you get 7% on your money. Assuming she left all the interest in the bank, how much interest was paid to her account after 1 year and then after 2 years? Let's try this one together. So she puts $150 in the bank. We don't need those zeros on there. And she's going to get 7% interest. What's 7% as a decimal?
0.07.
What do you think I do with these two? Multiply it, right? So if she puts $150 in and she gets the 7% interest, she's going to get 35, right? Okay, where's the decimal point go on this one?
Between the 0 and the 5.
Okay, right here. So does she have $10.50 in the bank?
No. That's
She put in $150. So how much is she going to have in the bank?
160.
Good. 160 and 50. See, she ends up with a little extra in her bank account because the bank pays her interest. What about after 2 years? Well, that's pretty easy to figure out. But what I have to do, I can't just add 1050 and another 1050 because the money stays in her account for the second year. So in the second year, she starts off with $160.50. Do you see? And now she's going to get 7% on that. Now, I don't really need the 0 on there. Let me erase the 0. Okay. So it's 106.5 times 0.07. Help me do this fast. 5 times 7? 35. Carry the?
3.
Oh, there's a 0 there, so I know it's going to be a 3. 6 times 7?
42. 4.
11, right? Okay, and how many spots does the decimal point move over?
3.
Yeah, I got 2 here. Somehow that got erased. And 1 there, so it goes over 3. So that year she's making how much in interest? $11.24. Okay, so $11.24, and she started off with $160.50, and so you get this much in your bank account. Okay, that's pretty complicated. You might want to pause the video and go back and watch that part again. And then once you get it, go ahead and pause the video and do number 11. And then turn it back on when you're ready to see the solution. Kyle borrowed $325 and he agreed to pay it back in 1 year plus 8% interest. How much money did he have to pay at the end of the year? So what am I going to do? Help me out. 25 times 0.08, right? 800ths. You're going to find out what 800ths of that $325 is. 8 times 5?
40.
Carry the?
4.
2 times 8?
60.
Plus 4?
20.
Carry the?
2.
3 times 8?
24.
plus 2?
26.
Okay, so where's the decimal point? How much money is that?
$26.
$26. And I have to add that to my amount that I borrowed, right? So you get $351 that he has to pay back to the bank. All right, we do have one more problem here. Actually, two more problems, and this has to do with profit. The term profit describes the amount of money earned by a business after all expenses are paid. Let's say you have a lemonade stand out in front of your house, and your mom says, okay, you can do the lemonade stand, but you have to pay me for the cups, you have to pay me for the lemons, and you have to pay me for the sugar that you use to make your lemonade. So after you pay your mom, then you count up your money, and whatever the difference is your profit. Got that? Okay, the profit is the extra that you get to keep. So the camera store, we often use percents when we evaluate costs and profits. Cost is how much something costs, and then profit is how much you make. The camera store took in $800. That's how much money people spent at the store. The expenses and taxes are 85% of the income. This is the income. The money that comes in to the store is the income. How much was left is profit. So if the expenses and taxes are 85%, well, they have it down here, you can figure out that $680 is what their expenses were. Take that off the $800, and that leaves them with $120 left. This 85%, this $680 is the sugar and the cups and all that stuff that it costs you. And in this case, it's probably cameras, taxes on that stuff and everything, right? Or you can do it the other way around, which is that their profit's going to be 15% of what they sell, right? So $800 times 0.15 is $120. It comes out the same either way. And again, if you don't get that, rewind it and watch it again. Arnold sold this much worth of soap. His expenses were $1,000. What were the profits in dollars and in percent? Woo, this is a tricky one. So how much money did he have in profit? Well, if he sold $12.50 and his expenses were $1,000, his profit's $250, right? What percent is that? His percent is $250. Excuse me. That's not right. Let me undo that. Okay. His profit is not working. $12.50 over $250. That it will tell you what the percent is. And so what you do is you put $250 and you divide that by $12.50, which is shown right up here. Okay. Oh, I did it backwards. I'm sorry. $250 over $12.50. Okay. One way you can do as a shortcut on this is get rid of these zeros, so you can do 25 into 125. So we can get rid of this and we can get rid of that, right? And when you do the division, you get 0.20 or 20% profit. Another way to look at that last one is you can do 25, 125. Can you reduce that?
Yes.
Okay, what does that reduce to?
1/5.
1/5, right? Because dividing both by 25. Well, what's 1/5 in tenths? Can you do that in tenths? 5 times 2. Okay, 2 tenths. Look, 2 tenths. 0.2 or 0.20. Same thing. Okay, it's just a fraction problem. All right, woo! We made it through. Thanks for watching.